Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I joined up with Hive to, help the man out a little bit. He was doing some grinding before the tier 8s and stuff, so I figure why not jump in, give the man a little bit of assistance. And first game in, we get into Arizona and yeah, not ideal situation. We're up against 4 destroyers and just a little spoiler, we're gonna go up against pretty much every one of the destroyers. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those matches. And as a battleship captain, this is what you call a teaching moment for all of y'all who just take torpedoes all the time. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. So right off the bat, we are gonna push up left side. We're on Tears of the Desert, and we're gonna go for that A-cap. Now, obviously, Hive is out ahead of us, but Hive is a single destroyer. He's in the Vesteros. So, he's got to be careful. While he is fully capable of gunning down a destroyer if he gets into a fight with one, maybe, we're not going to get in a fight with one. We're going to get in a fight with, I think, 3 at one time. And so, that's where the Arizona is going to have to show up. Now, everybody likes to... The critics of the Arizona say the same things. They say, well, it's got too long of a reload. It's just not a good ship. And to that, I say, the frickin' thing has absolute god-tier accuracy for the tier, and has really good guns. So despite having a longer reload, at least you're going to be hitting the target more often than not. So I will take that. Now the other things that the Arizona has going in its favor is, it's got amazing belt armor. Like, if you angle this thing well, everything around it just makes it just makes everything look stupid. And then it returns fire with those amazing guns that we already talked about that it'll just absolutely annihilate. Case in point, first thing we get to see is a Peter Veliki. Now, Peter Veliki, while it is a tier 4, also has the advantage of having a bow that I cannot overmatch. So you can see I aim high, going for superstructure hit right off the bat. And that's when the Mayhem gets spotted. Oh, and there's another destroyer, which is the Subra Zetzli, whatever, the Subra. So we've got 2 of the 4 destroyers here. Then there's an Omaha out there. The Peter, we actually got a pretty solid hit on him, 7,400 damage. Considering he was bow in, that's about as good as you're going to expect or hope for. Because remember, they don't have giant superstructures like American and German battleships do. So going for superstructure hit on them, a lot more difficult to hit, and B, also just not as consistent. Now, Hive and the other destroyer here is going to have to disengage. Now, we take a shot at an Omaha because, I mean, we kind of have to. It's an, oh my god. Did you see that freaking dispersion? Now, if we aimed that properly, he's a dead man. But no, we ended up aiming a little aft. Didn't quite lead him enough. He did turn away just at the last second. But still, took all of his health. That's going to make him very, very vulnerable. Hive having to disengage. Our Podvoisky gets himself torped to death. And that's when we see the Icarus. So we have an Icarus, a Mayhem, and a Subra all right here. Peter is about to ground himself broadside in front of us, and I don't think we need to talk about how that's going to go for him. Yeah, that's done. You're done. You cannot go broadside. I don't care if you were dodging torps or not, you cannot go broadside. Now, unfortunately, this is when the Icarus is like, hey, he just fired his guns, I'm going to shoot him. Now, if I was smart, I would have saved my rear guns for this guy, but nope. We're going to have to just juke him out of his shoes. Now, as you can see, we are slowing down, we're turning away, giving ourselves that opportunity, and even at under 3 kilometers, we managed to dodge almost every single torpedo. He did hit us with 1. So now we've got to speed back up. We did take a nasty hit there from, I believe it's the Queen Elizabeth at range here, taking a hit on us. But we do get rid of the Jervis, or the Icarus, and you can see more torpedoes coming in from the smoke screens. That's when the Mayhem gets himself detected, so we're going to go ahead and try to punch him in the mouth. Got the rear guns for him. And we're still being shot at by the Subra. You can see we take another 5K off of the Mayhem. He's going to ground himself, so we're going to go ahead and try to shoot ahead of him, knowing that he's about to go forward. He is turning away from us, however, so we want to make sure we aim a little bit further out. And we do catch him again for about 2,500, not quite. And yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to waste another shot on this guy because he's just getting lucky, man. And then he reverses again and then crashes into the island. I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, you can see I think Hive just smacked him there. And you know he's about to go forward, so we take the shot. And he actually doesn't go forward. He just sits there. Fortunately, Hive manages to take him out. Hive, an expert of shooting things on islands. Because, I mean, he spends most of his time running into islands, if you guys didn't know. Hive, I love you. You know it. But Subra, after watching me and Hive thoroughly dismantle everything on this side, Subra decides, nah, I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. So, yeah, this was a prime example of how to anticipate torpedoes before you see them and then dodging them. And that is something that as a battleship commander you just have to do. You have to know where they're coming from and anticipate when they're going to be launched so that you can dodge them before you see them. As we get the final shot on the Subra and take him down. Hive managing to take a good chunk off of him before that. And watch what happens next. We're going to get into range. We've got the Queen Elizabeth out here. This guy's the one that hit us for about at least a third of our health. A couple of minutes ago, and finally we get a chance to shoot back at him, and he's broadside. He's just literally begging for it. We are going to hit this man so hard that he just stops playing the game. Watch this. First shot out, and he's angled slightly, but he is going to turn away a little bit, and watch our damage. We got 61k, and we didn't do anything. Actually, I lied. We didn't do anything. It wasn't that hit. It's coming, I promise. That's what she said. But we are going to hit this man eventually. And when we do, either he DCs or he just quits playing. One or the other. The DC comes at like a perfect time, but it could be that he just gave up. Like, he's the last guy alive. He's against the entire enemy team. And I think actually at this point he's already quit. So not an ideal situation. In these situations, if you're in these, just fight, man. Go down swinging. Why quit playing completely? Like, that's just so dumb. Like, I understand the frustration. Trust me, been there, done that. And but the only time you'll ever see me quit out is, especially early, is if I'm about to die anyway. Like, if I'm about to eat a torpedo that I know is going to cause a permaflood and kill me, or if I'm about to eat a torpedo that I know is going to kill me, that sort of thing. That's about the only time I quit. Why? Because you do not know what's going to happen. There have been some ridiculously stupid games because of the stupidity of teams that just try to win harder. So you never want to just give up. But I understand why he gave up. 74,000 damage, not the highest damage game in the world, but look at that, 2,000 base XP. Why? Because we did our job. We got rid of destroyers when we needed to. We ended up with 3 kills. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Was it a fun little match? Did you learn something about anticipation and dodging torpedoes? If so, make sure you punch that like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Have a great weekend, folks.